do anything here, we like to call in the higher consciousness of God. And we have one of the most amazing prayer practitioners today, Sharon De Leon, holding the light for us. So she'll be back in the corner, in the prayer corner, and bringing in the God consciousness and then displaying it out to the world. We are Seaside here. You'll notice today Rebecca Jade is not here. She is up in L.A. at the Oscars. She's going to be performing with Elton John. Ooh. And guess what? You have an opportunity to vote for her as Best San Diego Artist again. So I think there it is. Marv has a slide. You can keep voting her in. Let's keep voting her in because she is just such a light to the world. All right, so we wanted to let you know about Wednesdays. Has anybody here been to the Wednesday evening healing service? Yes. Well, we have a special one coming up this Wednesday. Callie is going to be joining Reverend Christian, and it's going to be on spiritual partnerships. So plan on coming to that. 7 o'clock on Wednesdays. It's a wonderful midweek healing ritual, a lot more quiet than this service. And we light candles. It's a little more, ritualistic. And we like to call in the healing, and it's live prayer. You ask for prayer, and Reverend gives it to you right then. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen this Wednesday. Let's see. Speaking of love, I guess I gotta surrender to that here pretty soon. But they're doing a love renewal. You want to renew your vows with your beloved? Next Sunday, between services, we are going to be doing a vow renewal. Reverend Christian is going to be officiating that, and Rebecca Jade is going to be singing. So come on in and show us the love between you and your special divine partner. It should be very special. Today there is a class after second service here right now, intuitive self-awareness. And guess what she's going to be talking about? Love. Okay. How to create even deeper relationships of love and harmony in 2020. So you don't want to miss that. You got to get all this love. And let's see, we're doing a yard sale. Let's talk about something else. It makes me nervous just talking about it. How's your garage looking? I know mine is like up to the rafters. We would love if you could come and be a part of our yard sale that we're going to have here at let's see, what's the date on that? The 28th. It's a Saturday, but we're going to be loading in on a Friday. I'm taking volunteers who want to be involved in that, just organizing the different items, and that should be a lot of fun, and that money is going to go to support our media department. And they do such an amazing job with our live streaming and everything that they do here for us on Sundays. So be a part of that. Wanted to let you know that hospitality has been relocated. It's straight ahead now. And we have donuts from VG's. I bring them in fresh. Everything's fresh baked today, just so you know that. And come and share some time with us after service, and let's get to know each other a little better. This is our spiritual family. Also, we have the Seaside Trailblazers that have formed, and they went on their first hike yesterday. And I think, is Mark going to come? Oh, Mark Sands is our president of our board, and Jeanette Biasati. They went on a 6-mile hike yesterday, so let's see how that went.
Yeah, so yesterday we had our first hike, Seaside Trailblazers, to raise money for Make-A-Wish San Diego. There's 11 people from Seaside signed up on our team, and there's over 300 people involved in all of San Diego that are participating in this program to raise money for Make-A-Wish. And we had a great hike, 6.5-mile hike yesterday at Daly Ranch, and everybody did wonderful.
So now we're entering phase 2. So we have all the hikers that we need. That is closed for the Make-A-Wish team. And our hiking team requests your financial support. And your funds will go towards granting a wish for critically ill children in San Diego County. And so we have a table at the back. We welcome you to come by, and we'll let you know what you can do to help us in our fundraising. Thank you.
And they're still walking, so that's pretty amazing. They said that there's, over 300 people that have signed up? It was 300, but it's 299 now because I'm not doing it anymore. And with all that being said, would you stand up and greet your neighbor? 1, 2, 3.
Good morning, Seaside. Let's all stay standing together. We're going to sing a congregational song together called God is My Source. Get those hands clapping. Here we go. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Joy is my source, joy is my power, joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, joy gives me everything I need. Love is my source, love is my power, love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Come on, Bob. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything I need. One more time. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need.
Ooh, all right. That sounds good. Thank you, Danielle. And hey, I saw your video out. Very nice. 10 years, Mighty Untouchables, all over Facebook.
Yes.
Nice
I'm
job.
excited about it.
Well, you should be. That was good. Hey, and our sister Rebecca is standing in for today because she is off doing the Academy Awards tonight with Elton John. That's good. Hey, good morning, Seaside. Hey, welcome. And my goodness, it's dry in here. It's supposed to be. We put in a new roof a few years ago. That was an amazing story. Well, we'll save that for another time. But it's great to see you, and just welcome to a thriving spiritual community that inspires people to live their divinity. How are we doing? Yeah, that's good. Hey, Thursday night was pretty inspiring here with James Von Prague, over 500 people. And tell you what, anybody who volunteered that night, you want to stand up just so we can love you up. There were over 40 volunteers. Got your coat, huh? All right. Thank you, guys. That was just a wonderful night for sure. And this morning is going to be wonderful. I know it. So I encourage you to pull out your phone, check in, use the Facebook. I had somebody come through this morning. Direct result, they said, of Instagram. Had somebody else that came through who said direct result of Facebook. Had somebody else said they've been watching us live. Those were 3 people this morning at the first service. So what is going on is good, and it's because you're sharing the good word and the message. And you go to a restaurant, and it's delicious. Wouldn't you tell your friends about it? Well, we got the spiritual food we're dishing up here, and you got to let your friends know that this is life-transforming, empowering. And so go ahead and do that, and we're going to take you a little bit deeper because we have a wonderful practitioner, and that is Patty Christensen.
Good morning.
Morning.
Invite you to sit back in your chair, put your feet on the ground, and join me in a moment of stillness. in this beautiful morning, as people gather together, we know there is one God, one source, one divine inspiration, one love. Filled the room and the city and the California state and the country and the planet and the universe. That one love flows through everything. And I know I am a little part of that one love. I am a spark of spirit here, coming to have a human experience. And as I know that for me, I know, I see, I recognize that, and I celebrate that for each person drawn here today. For each one is showing up, answering the divine call, coming for a divine appointment. And so I speak my strong words of truth, that everything is in divine right and perfect order for this service. That each one who is here sitting in the sanctuary, each one who is showing up on the live feed, each one who watches this later, each one who is here and those that are on their way, each one is blessed, for today is indeed a holy day. And I know the service is blessed. Each word spoken, each song sung, all the music played is here by divine appointment. I know that Dr. Reverend Christian's words come from his heart. He is listening. He has the divine download from Spirit bringing to each what they need. And I know anyone who comes seeking with a heavy heart, with things on their minds or things to celebrate, that each one receives the good that is here for them. For indeed, this is a good and divine day to gather in love.
God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good to me. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good to me.
Thank you, Danielle, for reminding us of that goodness of God, and our practitioner, Patty, for praying us in so beautifully this morning. Good morning. I'm Reverend Christina Tillotson. It's my honor to welcome you to Seaside Center for Spiritual Living, especially if this is your first time here. Thank you for coming to bask in the warmth and the love of Seaside. I love that it's warm in here in this cold day. But it's also the love that gets to surround us. And if you're new, just thank you for coming. We have a special guest packet for you out either way you go out, with a
CD from Dr. Christian, a gift certificate to the bookstore, and a little bit about our philosophy and our faith and our way of life that is a worldwide organization that's based in Golden, Colorado, that has a vision for awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence, for a world that works for everyone, for everyone. Even in our centers in the Ukraine and in South Africa and Shanghai, China, we have places all over the world with the same vision. So thank you for being here to be a part of that vision and that light and that love of spirit. So here at Seaside, we have a ministry called Heart to Heart, where we take our hearts and our hands out into the community. And in this season of love, it's so appropriate that Karen Koblenz and Sonny Goodwin will come and talk about our rotational shelter, where we get to spread love to those who are experiencing homelessness.
So just quickly, by a show of hands, how many of you know about our work with the shelter and have been involved in the past? Up high if you've been involved, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Many of you know that many, many years ago, before I met my dear husband Mike in the back, I was homeless in a transitional situation. So if it can happen to me, it can happen to anyone. These are people just like you and me who are transitionally experiencing a transition in their life, and they're experiencing some homelessness. The good news about the Interfaith Shelter program that we run is that 98% of these people get the hand up that they need, and they never return to this state again. They're safe, they're cared for, and they get on their feet. So we're giving them a hand up. We partner with Bethlehem Lutheran Church, and we will be taking over our part of the shelter on March 8th. So between now and then, we are looking for people to provide dinners or parts of dinners, overnight home hostess or host. We have places where you sleep on your own. You don't have to be with everybody else. And donation items that everybody needs. We provide breakfast, lunch, dinner, and all of their physical needs, and a safe place for these people to be. This year we have a number of children in the shelter, and that changes a little bit as we go. As we get closer, we'll have more information about that. But Karen and I are coordinating this, and my husband Mike is helping. It'll be about our 20th year, I think, that we've been doing this. It's been a very, very long time. So Karen has a short story for you.
Real quick. So, you know the story about the starfish on the sea, that thousands. The young man's walking down, and he picks up a starfish and he tosses it, and an older gentleman notices, what's occurring here? He walks up to the young man and he says, "What are you doing?" Young man says, "I'm giving them another chance." And he says, "There's thousands here. How could that possibly make a difference?" He throws one and he says, "It made a difference to that one." You can make that difference to one in a very small way. So please throw a starfish.
This is a gift. Oops. This is a gift to the rotational shelter from all of us, from Seaside, because you are throwing that starfish just by donating to Seaside, and we tithe out to the community, and this is it for today. So thank you so much. Thank you. I forgot.
Thank you all. Just like Christian said, if you went to a good restaurant, you'd share the word. Please share the word.
How appropriate on this day of love to be told about a way to light our candles, as Michael Paul's going to sing about, and to go out into the world, even by our donations or by being there in person. So thank you. And now I get to pray. So just turning to that place of love. As the song says, there is only love. And that love is throughout all of this universe that I call God, and it doesn't matter what it's called, but it's that light and that love and that creativity and that wisdom of spirit through and as all of its creation, from the tiniest atom to the farthest galaxy, glued together in love. That glue that holds the universe together, that, as the pre-Socratic philosopher and examiner said, and it's been spoken of from all the mystics throughout the years. It is love. It's love. It is love. And that love is who I am, and each one here is, and each one who is coming through the internet is. Love as each one here in human form, expressing that light and that love and that perfection of spirit right here and right now in the sacred place and time and out in the internet ethers. And so I'm knowing for this sacred time together that love is the truth of this time together, and that each one here absolutely embraces and celebrates that love of spirit as them right here and right now, and in so doing bursting this love out into this city and this state and this world and this universe, surrounding all of creation, celebrating all of creation in that love as spirit. And for this light and this love of this sacred time together, I'm so, so grateful as I release this word to the law, knowing that it is now done in perfect love. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you. I am so happy to get to introduce our guest artist today. If you're a regular here at Seaside, you already recognize, know, and love this gentleman. But if you'd like to get to know him better, I hope that you'll look him up on Facebook, because there you will find his schedule of some incredible shows coming up, a performance that he has put together in honor of Black History Month. He'll be in Vista next weekend. Please give a warm welcome to Michael Paul Smith.
Good morning, Seaside! Woo! Okay, you guys don't have an excuse. The first service, they didn't have their coffee. Seaside! Woo! Yeah. Where's my buddy Fritz? Is he out there? Are you out there, Fritz? Hey, all right, Fritz. Hey, oh man. It's so good to be here with you. I just want to sing about we all are candles. Some of our candles are burning bright. Some of our candles are not burning so bright. Some of them are not burning at all. But we're going to talk about the candle that's lit, which we all are. There is a candle in every soul, some brightly burning, some dark and cold. There is a spirit who brings a fire, ignites the candle, and makes his home. So carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the hopeless, confused and torn. Hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle, go and light your world. take your candle, go and light your world. Do you believe that? Is your candle lit? Frustrated brother, see how he's tried to light his own candle some other way. See now your sister, she's been robbed and lied to, still holds a candle without a flame. So carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the hopeless, confused and torn. Hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle, go and light your world. Take your candle and go and light your world. We are a family whose hearts are blazing. So let's raise up our candles and light up the sky. Pray to the Father in the name of Spirit, makes us a beacon in the darkest time. So carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the hopeless, confused and torn. Hold up your candle for all to see it. Take your candle and go and light your world. Take your candle and go and light your world. Yes.
And this is Mr. Michael Paul Smith. Oh my goodness. Woo!
Thank you.
Man, what a presence, what a power. Love that. Wow. Woo! Go light a candle. Michael Paul Smith, right there. Singing it with a power. The rafters are shaking. I like that. Oh, wow. Actually, it's a perfect song for this morning about lighting a candle. I mean, that is the light, that is the celebration that is going on. And this morning's message is Love Celebrates You. How would you feel if love was actually celebrating you? Yeah, I mean, you just stop to feel that and take that in. What would my world look like if love was actually jumping with joy, celebrating my life, excited about what it was I was doing? Well, I want you to get that love is like that candle. It just shines its light. It doesn't want anything back from you. You know that? See, a lot of times love is, I'm going to love you, you love me. That's kind of like an exchange going on there. It's oftentimes, I'm going to do this, and there's this expectation that, something's going to come back to me if I behave myself, if I act like this, if I love you in a certain way. Then that there's expectations there. That love that is celebrating you isn't looking for anything back. I mean, have you ever just been given a gift and there was like no expectation with this gift that you received? That feels pretty good, doesn't it? I mean, there's like, wow, this is clean, man. It's like they don't want anything from me. I don't have to put out or anything. It's just, it's just pure love. Well, that's what the candle is like. It's like putting that light out there, and it shines bright, and it lights other candles, and things get brighter, and the celebration expands, and it just continues to grow. That's what I'm talking about here. That's what love's doing with you. It is celebrating you. And as we've been told, God is love. We've heard that over and over because I guess that's true. It's a love without the expectations. God is love. But also let us realize and recognize that love is of God. Right? And love is of God, and you are the channel in which it expresses. You are the conduit for the divine download. You are that place where that love is expressed and it is known. And so you get to recognize, am I like that candle, shining that light and just allowing myself to be, or am I looking for something back? Am I concerned about what others are thinking? What I do sometimes when I'm on the phone at the end, and instead of saying goodbye, I say I love you, which is like no big deal. I mean, it's a big deal, but it's not like a romantic deal. I mean, I say I love you, and I don't really expect, there to be any extra emotions around that. But I got to tell you, I've got feedback sometimes that, Christian, that's strange. Must be from Hollywood or something. They do that. I mean, one time I hang up, and I said, "Who is that?" I said, "John." She said, "Well, he's our attorney." And you said, "I love you" to him? I was like, yeah, well, why not? That is like celebrating. That's putting the light out there. It's not worried or concerned. It is just being that in life. And so as we begin to work on shining our light and our candle, allowing love to celebrate us, allowing yourself to be that conduit through which your gift is given to the world, we may stumble sometimes, but we're not perfect yet. And I know that, because you're still here. Richard Bach said, in Illusions, that how do we know when we're done here? He says, you're no longer here. So the fact that we're here means we're not quite yet perfect, though we might be working on it. But, it's a good thing. It's not a prerequisite to have mastery before you enter into this world, because this place would be empty. This is our classroom. And, mastery may be a goal or an objective of this life, but let us know that, we're still learning how to be a brighter light in the world in which we walk. And with that, we may stumble. We're not perfect, and we learn through our mistakes as well as the non-mistake times. I mean, remember learning to ride a bike, you learned by falling, and you learned by balancing. And they both were part of the greater picture of learning how to ride a bike. And so falling off wasn't necessarily a bad thing. It just wasn't quite the perfection yet, but it was part of the greater picture. We got to recognize that we're doing the best we can do with what we got. We're doing the best we knew how to do at the time, or we would have done it differently. So what is important is not to beat up on somebody when they are being less than perfect in our life. See, love is celebrating you in your imperfections as well as your mastery. And you get to be that place that love expresses in this world. You are the light. You are that candle. And when there's some imperfections being done before you, to you, around you, and that candle isn't lit yet, as Michael Paul was singing, her candle's out. I got to light that, which sometimes may look like forgiving those that messed you up. I was polite on how that came out. It is about forgiveness, forgiving those who trespassed upon you, if you're wanting to get spiritual sounding or biblical sounding, those who create offenses against you. See, that is about shining the candle. That is about allowing love to celebrate your light and your life and your world and your self-expression. But the reason we can't do that all the time is because we're dragging our stories along with us. I can't let go of what happened here. But it happened a decade ago. But still, it could happen again. The old golf story. All golfers know this story. And it's probably been told in all the centers, also spiritual centers. But it's the one about these 8 golfers came out to the golf cars. do a round of golf. And they split up 2 foursomes. So the first foursome went out and they shot the 18 holes. They came to the 19th hole, the watering hole, and sat in the clubhouse waiting for their buddies to come along. And they waited. And like the other 4 guys never showed up, and they waited. Finally, 3 of them came walking in, and they were disheveled. They looked like a wreck, and they said, "Oh my goodness, what happened?" They said it was awful. It was awful. On the second hole, Harry went up, teed up the ball, ready to take a shot, and he had a heart attack, massive heart attack, and down he went. And after that, it was just rough. It's hit the ball and drag Harry. Hit the ball, drag Harry. Yeah. So the question I have for you, since I got to make that story work, is, it's like, what's your Harry that you're dragging along? What dead weight, what dead bodies are you dragging along with you that you haven't forgotten, that you haven't let go of, that may have happened from childhood memories that don't serve you anymore? Or a memory that your partner did something wrong yesterday or 10 years ago that you're still dragging along with you, that's damping your fire, your flame, your candle. What is it that you're dragging? If you want love to celebrate you, you've got to be available. You've got to let that stuff go. You've got to move into a greater way of expressing yourself. You've got the option. You got the choice. It's available to you. But it's like, cryogenics. Isn't that where they freeze a dead body and then bring it back later? It's like this psychic cryogenics going on. It's like I have frozen this emotional wound, and I'm keeping it in my head until I can unleash it later on. It's like, oh man, look at what happened to me. This is why I'm acting like this. No, let the flame melt that away, and so you can be free. So love and life can celebrate you. God is love. Love is of God, and you are the place in which it wants to move through and celebrate life, celebrate you, and to be able to experience your life to the fullest. And with that means sometimes I take a look at those areas I don't quite have cleaned up yet. I had this one guy in my class, he said that, he's a good-natured kind of guy until stress hits him. And when stress hits him, it's like the werewolf under the full moon. Out he comes. His kids are aware that they see it. When they see it start shifting, they call him the werewolf. They go hide and say, man, Dad's turned into a werewolf, Mom. Let's get out of here. It's like when we come to recognize, you know what? I got this. Now I can hold and say, this is the way I am. Or you can say, you know what? This isn't serving me anymore. And this less than perfect expression, I was doing the best I could do at that time in my life, and I'm going to practice forgiveness. If life is celebrating me, if love is celebrating me, then I've got to be willing to recognize that even this part that is not quite perfect yet is part of me learning to find a balance in writing in this life and in this world. There is something inside of me that knows, and I'm going to follow this something. I'm going to follow that Spirit's call. I'm going to follow Spirit instead of the stressed out werewolf. I'm going to follow the Spirit's love rather than anger. I'm going to listen to the call of the divine rather than the anxiety or the addictions of the body. I'm going to listen to that something, allow that to celebrate my life. The Bible, it's that black book you got at home? In Romans, 13th chapter, verse 1, it says, let every soul be under the subject of a higher power, and know there is no other power than God. Okay, let every soul, that's us, be the subject to that higher power. I want to be a subject to the higher power, and there is no other power than God. So, as we have spoken before, it's not like I'm going to use the power of God to overcome this imperfection. I'm not going to use the power of God to overcome this difficulty in my life, because you know what? The spiritual truth of the situation is there is no other power. God is the only power. So what I've got to do is put my focus on the presence. Not, hey, you got to overcome this. This doesn't even exist in the mind or the awareness of God. You're already being celebrated by love. You're already being celebrated by God. You're already being celebrated. The candle has been lit, and if there is an imperfection or the candle is out, Spirit's there. He's Christian. I want to light it. I want to help it become brighter. I'll help it fan it for you. You know, life is good. You know, Ernest Holmes, he said that. I mean, a lot of people have said that, I'm sure. You know, but I want to share with you where he says that God is good. Life is good. And in his book, The Science of Mind, there's a lot of great pages. This particular great page, 388. You want to read it because there's a lot of good stuff here. I'm only going to take a few sentences. He said that we should learn to trust life. Okay? Now, when you know God is love, you can trust that. If you think God is vengeful, angry, pissed off, out to get you, how can you trust that? You can't surrender to that. But if you recognize that God is love, count me in. I'm good. I'm up for that. Okay, so we should learn to trust life. There is no power in the universe that wishes anybody ill. Life is good, he says. He said God is good. So why not accept this and begin to live? No one needs to prepare to meet God. We are meeting Spirit every day and every hour in every day. We meet Spirit in the rising sun, in the flowing stream, in the budding rose, in the joy of friendship, and the love and the silence of our own soul. Yeah. Every day. Every hour of every day. Yeah. In the rain, in the flowers. Yeah. In the person who's sitting next to you. If I wanted to make you uncomfortable, I'd have you look at somebody next to you and say, ooh, God, I see it. But I'm not going to do that. If it was class, I would make you do that. But here, I try to keep you comfortable. Though you could come to Wednesday night. Callie and I are going to do spiritual partnership. But so where was I going? With God. Okay, yeah, that's where I want to go now. Anyway, you know, so let's say you want more love in your life. And you didn't make it to Wednesday night. What happens is that people, you know, try to look at their brothers and sisters for more love. But what's important to recognize is that we look to God for more love. And what happens is it shows up through our brothers, our sisters, our partners, our children, our parents. See how that works? See, if you're going to them, then you're going with that expectation. Hey, I want some love. I'm going to be good. You're going to be good to me. It's going to work. No. But we go to God, and I just want to experience that quality of God, love. You know, I go to God for love, and what happens is, you know, the love of God, God's love is expressed through the people in my world. If I want some wisdom in my world, you know, I don't necessarily go to a person. What happens is I go to God, the infinite intelligence, and all of a sudden what happens is that infinite intelligence shows up at work in the perfect place, in the perfect connection, and the perfect buyers or whatever it is I'm working on. It shows up as the wisdom that is necessary that comes to me when I'm out on the road or doing this thing called life. See, God is all. It is the only power, and it's celebrating you. And it's about time you opened up to greater good, Christian, because you know what? I got so much more to share with you, so much light that is so bright, and you've created some space. I want to celebrate you. The Spirit wants to celebrate you. Yes. And so, how's that feel? Yeah. See, that's your soul. That's love. That's your spirit. You know, there's a question that says, you know, how old would you be if you didn't know how old you were? How old do you think you are? How old do you feel if you didn't know how old you are? Yeah, what was that? I'm not too old. That's, you know, it is. That's your spirit. You know, James Von Prague the other night and Gordon Smith, both of them separately said, you know what? There's just a little part of who you are in this bag of bones. He didn't say that, but this body. One of them, I think Gordon made up, said there's about 20% that is in this field that is conscious of this. But who you are is so much more. Like 80% of your awareness is far greater. It's how, you can be talking to mom and dad and thinking, what, they have to show up to talk to me? No, consciousness is omnipresent. It is everywhere. And this is what is being celebrated, not the imperfections or the perfections. It is the essence of your being that is lighting up and making a difference in the world, that is not giving to the power to the outsides, the fears, the concerns, or a body that doesn't feel like it once did. You know what? You're not the body. You're the consciousness that animates this vehicle to operate within this world. And as you begin to feel that and sense that, you know that you are so much more than that. And it takes place in this now moment. It's here. It's that which you feel that is more than what's going on in front of you. What's going on in front of you is the feedback, the manifestation. Are you celebrating life? Are you allowing yourself to be celebrated? Are the gifts of God showing up? Or are you caught up dragging Harry through life? Are you caught up falling off that bike and saying and labeling that bad, as opposed to looking at God and knowing perfect balance is mine and it's showing up through my path and I'm doing the best I can with what I got in the moment I'm in? But that's the key. The moment I'm in is the only moment I have. That's where God celebrates you. I share stories like this in class, and inevitably in a class people say, man, if I could just be as happy as my dog, I'd be happy. Yeah, it's like, well, look how you take care of your dog, right? You take care of him better than a kid. But then it makes me think, I used to go home and take a look at our dog, Sage. This big, full-size golden retriever, gorgeous guy, big heart. He'd show a burglar where this good stuff was any day of the week. He was just love in expression. And but anyway, he was just always a vibrant expression of life. You'd never find him down at the local bar nursing a beer because he lost a love in his life. He never lost love because he loved what was ever in front of him. It was just amazing how that worked. And Sage, he loved life. He used to sleep in the bedroom. Callie'd never let him up on the bed, though he'd try sometimes. But he'd always sleep like on the floor at the foot of the bed. And then as soon as the sun would start coming up, man, he was up. He'd have his cold, wet nose nuzzling under my pillow saying, Dad, wake up. Come on, Chris, let's go. It's time to play. And so every morning for more than 12 years, without fail, except on Sundays, I would take him out for a walk. And I got to tell you, I would just open up the door just a little crack, and he would stick his nose, and out the door he'd be gone, chasing rabbits before I could even get my foot out the door. He wasn't going to lose that moment. And you talk about carpe diem, whatever that is. He knew how to seize the day. He wasn't bound to let it get away, and he chased those rabbits with everything he had. Then he came home, ate the food with the gusto of a starving dog, and and then water dish. He'd go swimming in it or something because then it was all over the floor. And then he would just sleep out in a sunbeam in the yard with as much passion as he was chasing those rabbits. He was just the happy kind of dog. And he made me feel wonderful, for whenever I came home, wherever he was in the house or the yard, he would drop whatever he was doing and he would meet me at the door. Red carpet treatment, excited, jump, tail wagging, just crazy to see me. It didn't matter if I was gone for an afternoon or a month. Man, it was red carpet treatment. He didn't have the attitude where, Christian, you've been gone for a month. And would sit down on his haunches and cross his arms and say, I think we need to talk about your commitment to this relationship right now. It just never went like that. It was a light and a love that was in the moment, that was current. And if I was gone, he was out there chasing the cat, trying to get a big old stick through the dog door. He was happy. And that's what the light is. It is that joy. It is that celebration. It is that spirit that is there. When I said, how old would you be if you didn't know how old you were? Feel that spirit, because you are more than this body. You are a light to this world that we need, that we hunger for, and just asking you to be you. Wherever you are in your life, whatever age you are in your life, it is the perfect age for that expression of your self-mastery and the light to be shared in this world. Feel it and sense it and share it. Hey, the sharing it. But when you got this psychic cryogenics going on, people don't tend to share the light as much because they got this stuff that, I don't know if it's going to be okay or accepted or what they will think. It's like the question often asked, has been asked by many, is that, if you're going to not if you're going to die tonight, you know, we weren't going to make it past midnight, and you could only make one phone call, you know, only one call, you know, who would you call? Yeah, that'd be good to take care of you. You know, and what would you say? You know, if you were going to make one call, who would it be and what would you say? Then, of course, the next question is, why are you waiting? Yeah, you know, why is it that you're waiting? If you only have one day left, you know, who do you want to be with? Who do you want to share that light that you have in your being with? You know, and what are you holding back for? Why would you be wanting to keep it? Because what I've noticed is when you begin to recognize that, you know what, you know, God's love. And God's not only love, as I said, love is of God. And you're the conduit and the channel through which it moves. It's what proceeds from you. It's what exudes from you. And when you're truly with that person, it's your last day, what I have noticed is really some deep, authentic listening. You want to let your light shine bright, you be present and you listen with all your heart and your soul. I'm not talking about the kind of conversation when somebody's talking, you're thinking about what you're going to say next. You know, when somebody's talking, you're trying to figure, okay, when can I get in there with this zinger? You know, or when can I get in there with this piece? They're talking, you're constructing your idea. That's not celebrating the moment. That's not celebrating the joy. I'm waiting. I just got to get this to them so they get it. I'm talking about deep, authentic, being present and hearing and not needing to jump in, you know, real quick and get my idea in there, but being present. Because when you're present, that is when your light is the brightest. That is when it is felt. That is when it is seen. That is when it is making a difference because you are honoring the other person. All of a sudden, what's happening, you are celebrating the other person. And when you are celebrating the other person, what you are being is God's love expressed in this world. And you're making a difference just by being who you are in presence. That is love celebrating. That is God celebrating as you, and your world will be ablaze because the candles will be bright all around. God bless us as we light up the world together. Yeah. Hey, let's keep it going for Michael Paul Smith on the keyboards.
Yeah, thank you. That's what I like. Well, did you know you're amazing? Some of you do, some of you don't, but let me just tell you, you're amazing. Whatever's happening in your life, whatever thoughts you're having, whatever events are occurring, you're amazing, quite amazing. You're amazing, just amazing. You will do some amazing things. You're amazing, just amazing. And you will do some amazing things. You would do amazing things with the boisterous each day bring, and with every step you take, that's the progress that you make. The reasons are clear. It's in every gift you give. Love your life, love your dreams. You will do some amazing things. Oh, the places you will go and the people you will know. Don't worry when, where, or how. You don't need to know that now. You're on the right track. No need to look ahead nor back. peace and joy what this day brings. You will do some amazing things. You don't have to work it out. Just stay in the here and now and let your mind rest for a little while. Sometime deepest answers come when you're out just having fun. So close your eyes, take a breath, and just smile. 'Cause you're amazing, just amazing, and you will do some amazing things. You're amazing, just amazing, and you will do some amazing things. You don't have to work it out. Just stay in the here and now and let your mind rest a little while. Sometime deepest answers come when you're out here just having fun. So close your eyes, take a breath, and just smile. You just smile. Woo. 'Cause you're amazing, just amazing, and you will do some amazing, some amazing, some amazing thing. Ooh, ooh. You're amazing.
This is Michael Paul Smith. Whew, you're amazing. Anyway, this is the time of our service where we have the opportunity to share a gift, to share our love. And as you give, it comes back. But that's not why you do it, because that's the expectations. What we do is we give without those expectations, allow ourselves to be that conduit of that Spirit's expression of love and generosity. We get to be the activity that Spirit is having. And so as we continue to play in that divine realm, what we find is the divine playing in our human experience. So with that, I'd like to invite our ushers to come forward. I want to say thank you to this wonderful crew. Thank you to those who mail in your contributions when you can't be here on a Sunday. It is greatly appreciated, as well as those who practice with our auto tithe, that regular systematic support from your world into the operations of the wonderful ministry here that is really working on inspiring people to live their divinity. Thank you guys at home. We know that you're there. We feel your support, your love, your contributions, your prayer requests. Keep sending them in. We pray for them every day. As we pray for all of our prayer requests every day, you put them in the prayer request chest, and the practitioners, about 50 of them, pray every day for that week that they're in there. It's a profound experience. We hear of demonstrations all the time. Just heard one this week of a young woman who had been putting prayer requests in there to meet her guy, and then she just disappeared. Got a a letter, email from her this last week and said, I know you haven't heard from me in 3 years, but I found the love of my life. I ran off to Virginia and we're living married happily ever after. So it's like, you could have told her. I wouldn't have. But we hear the stories like that all the time. So what I want to do is pray, because healing is the thrust of this movement, and we live in this wonderful stream, this divine download, and this stream that is moving through each and every one of us, and becoming more present in the current moment. We find a richness and a light that shines. Spirit continues to celebrate because it brings the nutrients, the richness, the fullness of that abundant flow of good into our very experience. As Ernest said, life is good, and I know right now that God is good, and this is the very essence of our life. Is that good? Is that great? Is that you are amazing? And the blessings and the richness and the ease and the grace and the security is naturally ours when we know our source is inexhaustible and that it cannot be severed, for truly it is moving as our very life experience now. So with joy we give, with joy we receive, and watch it continually increase in all facets of being, the health, the relationships, the love, savings accounts, everything. It's all spirit. It doesn't have anywhere to go. It is the only power, and that power of Spirit is just wonderful and amazing. It is the truth of our being. Grateful to know this, and to come from this place and to share this, to support this, to be one more candle that shines bright into the world. This Seaside Center shines bright because of this moment and all of us sharing our light with this wonderful candle. So with joy we give and joy we receive, and so it is. Amen. And together let us say this affirmation of abundance, which is, Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of greater good as my life now. Your guys from Seaside. Nice job. And I stand before this bounty and I can feel the outpouring of love, for truly those candles are shining bright, and truly this room is ablaze in the glory of Spirit. For there is a richness in the blessings, for Spirit is celebrating you. And I know right now in your celebrations, your light and your gift is just given with a sense of joy and love. It is received in love and joy. It is handled in good stewardship and is put forth back into the world to bring this joy and this love and this light and this sense of well-being to all that comes in contact. Thank you, Father, Mother God, for allowing us to have this light of love to shine. And so it is. Amen. It is. This is Mark Sands. He is your board president here at Seaside and nature enthusiast. You and Jeanette was leading the first group of hikers on Saturday. Training, huh? Yeah, for the kids, Make-A-Wish Foundation, huh? That's good. And they can still talk to you, right, after today? You going to hike some more? Every Saturday. Okay, if you guys want to go hiking, we got some great guides. Come hang out. Thank you. Speaking of thank you, Michael Paul, oh my goodness, man, you are just rocking it today. You're having some fun, and thank you. Danielle, bless you for your wonderful expression of love, being part of the family, stepping in, and just bringing your light for us all. Dr. Christina, thank you for sharing your light and your love, and just we celebrate you and honor you. Sound today is Ed. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Giving us sound is Marv, and the guys and the women on the cameras and in the editing room putting this together live. Just thank you so much, because I know those at home are blessed, and we know that you're there. We love you. We appreciate you, and you're just part of this family. And there's a conversation that goes on during the week all the time. So, hey, today after the service, I saw Carrie in here somewhere. She's doing her class. So talk to her outside at the education table afterwards if you're interested. That is happening. Wednesday night, as you heard, Callie and I are doing a service together, a spiritual partnership, Valentine's Day special in our lives. It's the day I proposed to her in 93. We opened up a new center in Del Mar the first day, and then she and I went out afterwards, and well, that's about all I can tell you about that part. But that was the day, and she did say yes, and it was very wonderful. Anyway, Wednesday night we're going to do the evening together. Aria is going to be back doing some singing, so that'll be good. And then on Sunday, we're going to give you the opportunity to renew your vows. You know, if you're in a committed relationship and you have been sharing love for years, come on in. We're going to have a number of couples here who are just looking into each other's eyes and saying, I do. Once again, Rebecca's going to sing. She'll be back maybe telling us stories from the Academy Awards and singing with Elton John. So there's a lot going on at Seaside. We just continuously offer you the opportunities to get involved. But it all leads to this point of just experiencing the healing and the presence in our life. And so I'm going to pray. And healing is the thrust of our movement. And so I want to invite any of our religious science practitioners to stand. And we can all feel this upliftment of this light and this life. For that blessings, the Spirit moves in this moment. And what I know in that movement is that it is Spirit. God is not only love, the love is of God. And you, me, we're the conduit. We're the avenue through which it is expressed. We're the candle. We're the light. You are the light. You are Spirit expressing. I am. That is the truth of being. There is no power other than God. It's not a power over anything. There is only one power. There's only one life force. That's you. And I know right now that as each of us does our personal path, it's not always perfect. Maybe made some mistakes. Those imperfections are part of our soul's curriculum. And so forgive yourself. Even if others aren't forgiving you, they want to hold on to their resentment for how you did them wrong. That's their thing. But forgive. The mistakes you made, others have made. Allow that light to shine. Don't stand there with it out. There's spirit that expresses through others, and ideas and consciousness and inner motion and emotions that allow that light to come back. I'm no longer going to drag Harry. I'm no longer going to try to awaken the psychic cryogenic pain of yesteryear. I'm going to let all that go. Be as happy as my dog. I'm going to be that place that is current and know that I did the best that I could have done when I did what I did. But what I know right now is there is joy in this moment, for Spirit is expressing. Happy to have an avenue and a channel that is wider and more open to share that light and that love than it has ever done before. That as each of us says yes to that motion of Spirit, Spirit moves in. It purges out anything unlike itself. It knows how to renew, refresh, revitalize. This body is the temple of God. And who I am, who you are, is far greater than this physical temple. There's only a little piece of your awareness that is operating within this conscious field. There is so much more, your soul observing your journey without judgment. Feel that life, love celebrating you. You are an expression of Spirit. And the world begins to reflect in a brighter way. You begin to see as Spirit sees because there's more light. There's more love. I'm grateful for a shift taking place right here. Feel it. Say yes to that for yourself. Open up. I go to God for God. Without expectations, I go to God for God. And what happens is Spirit shows up through people, situations, forgiveness, dynamics, love, caring, abundance, contacts, great deals being put together, the right people in the right place. There's something good going on because I'm not looking with expectation from anyone. I am just being love expressing, which is Spirit expressing at the highest and best for you. And this, I'm grateful that this is happening. I'm grateful that the love that moves within this community is just assisting Seaside be this thriving, prospering, dynamic, growing expression of light and life and love, this thriving spiritual community that is inspiring more and more people to live their divinity because this light is shining brighter than ever. There is a profound difference that is being made in this town as well as this nation and the consciousness with a greater sense of love and peace and a light. I am able to know that what's going on here is making a difference on the planetary level, that there is a greater love and concern for all of humanity and the planet, for our brothers and sisters across the world without borders, but a love that is felt. This is what heals, transforms, uplifts. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this moment with each and every one of you. I stand here in love. I love you. And I let go with a gratitude and appreciation, for that is enough to feel and to know. So I let go. Just allow Spirit to have its way. And so it is. Amen.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. And this is what you've got to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Said I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Come on, Seaside, let's hear you. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
And our affirmation is, love celebrates as me. Together, love celebrates as me. Touch your heart and say it again. Love celebrates as me. One more time like it's your truth. Love celebrates as me. And our song of grace.
I'm living in love. I'm living in peace. I'm living my life for what I believe. Through joys and through fears. In this world I walk, God's grace shines on me. And it shines on us all. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We're living in love. We're living in peace. United we stand as one family. We honor all truth as together we walk. God's grace moves through me and it moves through us all. We are living in grace. 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 Have a great week, everybody.